Hey guys, it is me again with another hopefully quick video. This time we are going to talk about containers and encumbrance and all that kind of fun stuff. If you've noticed out here under the new crafting rules, one of the things a leather worker can create are regular and masterwork containers, which are some custom creations, some custom items that I've come up with. You'll notice that you can craft them out here on your crafting cost calculator. They're also for sale in the stores in Jonestown. Basically, the only things you should be using on your character to carry stuff around is a backpack, a harness, a belt pouch, and up to a maximum of 2 bandoliers. Some of these items have descriptions inside of the standard Pathfinder game, but my descriptions of these items replace anything that's already in Pathfinder. I'll show you a little bit more about that when we get over to Fantasy Grounds. So a backpack, you know what a backpack is. I've got the weight, the price here. I've got what is required action-wise and opportunity attack provoking-wise to put it on and take it off. So putting on the backpack does provoke, taking it off doesn't. Generally, the purpose of a backpack, just to be clear, even though this says it holds, 2 cubic feet of stuff, I don't really intend to police how much stuff you've got in your backpack. The point of the backpack is that things that are in it are not easily accessed during combat. So your bandolier, your belt pouch, your weapon harness are going to have things that you can get to quickly, and then just shove whatever else you have into your backpack. As far as I'm concerned, the standard encumbrance rules that are based on your strength are all the limitation we need for how much stuff you can shove in your backpack. So if it becomes comical and unrealistic, I'm not likely to say anything about it, as long as you're not trying to put a hippopotamus in your backpack or something. The Masterwork backpack, in my case, does exactly what the Paizo one does, although I have added some rules for donning and doffing and retrieving items. Note that taking off a Masterwork backpack actually does provoke attacks of opportunity, because you have to unhook all the straps that you're using to make yourself effectively stronger. You treat your strength as +1 higher when calculating your carrying capacity. And if I flip over here to Fantasy Grounds, you'll see that on my character sheet here down at the bottom, I can hit this little magnifying glass. Right now, my encumbrance, light encumbrance, is 100 pounds. And if I put in a strength adjustment here of 1, because I have a Masterwork backpack, you'll see that it goes up to 116. So you can actually manage that stuff here in Fantasy Grounds that way, and I can help you with that if you need me to. So that's the basics of what a backpack is. It can hold basically a nearly unlimited amount of stuff, but it's really hard to get to when you need it. Bandoliers, again, you can wear up to 2 of them, and they can hold up to 8 easy to access items. Scrolls, potions, alchemical items, wands, daggers, troll crushers, the main things that I could think of. Note that retrieving something from your bandolier still provokes, okay? So retrieving a stored item, standard rules, provokes an attack of opportunity, and it does so with this bandolier as well. A Masterwork bandolier gives you the opportunity to get around that a little bit. Number one, it holds 1 more item than its common counterpart. So instead of having 2 things holding 8 items, you could have 2 bandoliers holding 9 items each. And I have a note here that says if you possess the quick draw feat, pulling things out of your bandolier doesn't provoke attack of opportunities. It doesn't make things go any faster, so it's still a move action to pull it out, but it won't provoke. So that makes the quick draw feat a little bit better. Frankly, it's already a pretty darn good feat, so that makes it that much better. A belt pouch is basically a fanny pack. Again, I've got the don and doff and retrieve and store item rules here. It can hold 200 coins or 2 apples. That's straight out of the book. A Masterwork belt pouch turns into sort of Batman's utility belt. It has 5 separate little pouches. It can hold 3 times as much stuff as the standard fanny pack model. Its main bonus, though, is anybody trying to pickpocket something out of your Masterwork belt pouch has a minus 10 to their sleight of hand check. So it's a very good place to keep your money, and that's primarily what it's for, is for you to keep money and flint and steel and that sort of stuff in. A weapon harness is sort of looks kind of like a climbing rigging that you would put on. And it, again, has what it takes to put it on and what it takes to pull stuff out of it and so on. It doesn't really change the draw weapon rules. What a weapon harness is for is to put some boundaries around how many weapons you can have at the ready at any given time. Somebody that's carrying around 6 great swords just because they're strong enough to do it is still a little hard for me to imagine. And so I created this item to try to manage it just a little bit. So the harness lets you carry 5 one-handed, two-handed bows or crossbow weapons at the ready. Light weapons can be carried at the ready all over the body without a need for a weapon harness. So if you're using a light weapon, you still probably ought to note where it is on your body, like it's in my boot. I've got 6 daggers up my sleeve. I've got, one behind my hat, on my neck. Again, I don't care. I've got a light mace hanging off my belt. But when you get into long swords and great swords and bows and crossbows, then you need to hang them from your weapon harness. And again, it can hold up to 5 that you can have at the ready, and you're going to note on your character sheet which ones are at the ready. Anything that's not on this weapon harness, you can still carry if you have the strength to do it, but you won't be able to get to it quickly in combat. That's the limitation. I'm not trying to say you can carry 20 greatswords if you want to. You just are only going to have access to 5 of them at a time. A Masterwork weapon harness does a couple of things. First off, it raises how many of those items you can have to a total of 6. And because of its superior design, the heaviest weapon on it you can calculate as having a weight of 0. So that's fun. Gives you a little bit of a break in a different way on your strength. Then I just put a couple of items here. A shield hook is basically just a little wooden hook that you can place on the back of your backpack or on the back of your weapon harness to give you somewhere to hang your shield. And then a shield magnet is sort of sewn into the lining of your backpack or onto your weapon harness around your neck, and it allows you to flip your shield onto your back and it just stick the way that Captain America's does. So, that way you can look cool like Captain America, which is obviously pretty important. All right, so let's go to Fantasy Grounds. I have zoomed in as far as Fantasy Grounds will let me here. I know it's still kind of hard to see, but just in case you've never done this before, and again, I'm happy to help you with it, I have added the backpacks and the Masterwork backpacks and the belt pouches and the bandoliers and the weapon harnesses and all that to Fantasy Grounds. And just so you can tell the ones that I created from the ones that are already built into the game, all of my descriptions have an exclamation point at the end of them. So if you're using the one with the exclamation point on it, then you're using the right one. I know some of you already know how to do this, but just in case you don't, I thought I'd give a quick tutorial in how to arrange things on your inventory. So you see that Diggy here is carrying all this stuff, and it's not really sorted into a location the way that your Dungeon Master really wants you to. So let's start going through, and let's say this scroll of Acid Arrow I want to keep on one of my bandoliers, and as soon as I start typing BAN, it realizes that I've got a Masterwork bandolier, and it finishes the sentence there for me, the keyword that I'm typing. And all I'm doing now is hitting the tab key, and boom, my Arcane Scroll of Acid Arrow is now on one of my Masterwork bandoliers. I don't really care about you keeping the two separate. So I know that I'm carrying 2 bandoliers that are Masterwork. And if we go back to our little sheet here, we see that a Masterwork bandolier can hold a total of 9 items. So as I am doing this, I know I can get up to 18 items of the appropriate type here in my bandolier. All right, so I've got a scroll of Acid Fog I'm going to do the same thing with. And I'm just going to go through this whole sheet real quick. Oh, wait, I put that on the backpack instead of the bandolier. Both of them start with BA. So you need to type as far as BAN to get it to the bandolier. There we go. Next thing, I've got 20 scrolls of Arcane Mark. I put this here to kind of make a point. I'm never going to need my Arcane Mark scrolls in combat, so I'm not going to waste 20 bandolier slots, which I don't have. I've only got 18 on them. I'm just going to put these guys in my backpack. Okay, so I'm still carrying around. I've still told my DM where they are, and you see it sorted them into the Masterwork backpack, but I'm not trying to have those guys at the ready because I'll never need them at the ready. All right, and then quickly going on, I'll put my Bear's Endurance scroll and my Beast Shape scroll all on my bandolier. And there we go, got my scrolls sorted out a little bit. I've got a battle axe here. I certainly want it to be ready, so I'm going to put it on my weapon harness. There we go. You see, so now it starts to sort these out. Again, kind of making a point from before. Things like, first off, I'll stop and say, things like your Masterwork backpack, if you want, you can like type the word worn, not worm, worn, just to note that you're wearing it. It's not really necessary, but you know me, I like to be thorough here. So I've got 12 daggers. Now, if we remember the rule, small weapons don't need to be put on a weapon harness, so they can be anywhere all over my body. Again, if I want to sort them out, that's great. But I'll just say that they're hidden in my sleeves or whatever. My great club I'm going to put on my weapon harness. My great sword I'm going to put on my weapon harness. And as I do this, you can see kind of why this matters to me is, I'm trying to kind of make carrying all this stuff around make sense. Okay, so now it has sorted things down to my weapon harness, and we can take a look. I've got battle axe, a great club, a great sword, and a heavy crossbow on my weapon harness. I can hold up to 6 of these items on it, so let me find 2 more that maybe I want to put on there. Let's see here. I will get my longbow on there. Well, I don't know. I've already got a heavy crossbow, so let's put the heavy flail on there. Get it on the weapon harness. And then I'm going to put my longsword on there because maybe it's special. All right, now I've got 6 weapons on my weapon harness, the heaviest of which is my heavy flail. And since it's a Masterwork weapon harness, not only can it hold 6 items, but also I get to turn the weight of the heaviest item to 0. So I just turned that into a 0. Remember, in Fantasy Grounds, zeros just display as blank. So I saved myself 10 pounds there. And I've still got this longbow that needs to be on the weapon harness if I'm going to have it ready. I don't have it on my weapon harness, so I'm going to note that it's hanging from my backpack, which is really just another way of saying my longbow is not available to me in combat. These are the 6 weapons I've chosen to have available in combat. The rest of the things I haven't sorted are a bunch of potions and wands. Let's see how far we can go getting these into our bandolier. And I'll make a point of saying, you notice I get quiet when I'm typing. I'll make a point of saying that the belt pouch that you're carrying around, you can put utility items in, but these specific kind of items, potion scrolls, wands, they need to be on the bandolier. So if you want to have your flint and steel, or if you have some quest-specific gewgaw, MacGuffin that you want to have at the ready, then put that in your belt pouch. But it's the weapon harness and the bandoliers that are really controlling what items you have available to you in combat. All right, so now let's go down and look at our bandolier. I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 3 of these, so that's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I've got 14 items on my 2 bandoliers, which is under the 18 item limit. So I'm great. I've got all this stuff at the ready. It's all sorted the way my DM likes to see it. And I have got everything worked out. Now again, I'm only carrying 60 pounds, but since I have the Masterwork backpack, I can add that one there. And you see it jumps up my encumbrance. So I'm still in light encumbrance. I'm carrying this ridiculous number of weapons and everything's sorted out so I know what's available to me in a pinch and what will take a little while to get to. And I think that that is really all I wanted to talk to you guys about on this video. I appreciate it. Talk to you later.